Is this you? What are you made of? What has to be removed that you are not you anymore? When you look at yourself, it's different types of cells that are forming different types of things. In every human's body, there are trillions of cells, meaning there are more cells in your body than stars in the Milky Way. We talk about cells a lot, but you have to know that a cell is a living thing, and it's more complicated than you think. The coolest part about this is that a cell this small is like a huge factory, and it has 50,000 employees, but the employees are proteins. Inside every cell, there are around 50,000 different types of protein working. This small yet huge cell, even though is a living thing, but it doesn't have self-will, but it's programmed to do a certain job. Trillions of cells like this are working for your body. Until their last breath, they'll do what they're told. All these cells get together and make giant structures. Giant structures like the human brain, the heart, eye, hair, and every other thing in the human body. If you take a human cell and keep it in a safe spot, it could still live. But you, without the cells, are not going to exist. The younger and happier the cells, the happier you are. But there's a question here. How much of your cell has to leave your body that your body is no longer you? Let's say you donate your kidney to your brother. With this procedure, you give billions of your cells to your brother. What happens there? Is there a part of you living inside your brother? And is your brother taking care of your cells? These cells were programmed for your body. Let's do an experiment. Just think, we made a machine that we can exchange cells between two people, one by one, meaning you give one and you take one. If the cells are being exchanged, then the person has to be exchanged as well. Is this even possible, or is this a dumb experiment that two people are just switching cells? Let's make it more complicated. While you were watching this video, 250 million of your cells have died. That's a lot, meaning 1 to 3 million cells a second. You have to know that all your cells will die. And biology says every 7 years, all your cells will die and be replaced, meaning you and the person you were 7 years ago are a completely different person because all your cells were renewed. And we don't even notice the cells being replaced. Humans will replace their cells until the day they die. When you're young, it's faster and better, but when you're older, it's slower and more lazy. If we are lucky enough to get to an old age, until then, we've replaced 1 million billion cells from our body. 1 million billion cells. Million billion means 1 with 15 zeros in front of it, or you can call it quadrillion. So cells easily die and get replaced by new ones. So it's not important that it's not your own kidney, because your cells get replaced so much that it will eventually be your kidney. But these innocent cells do their work without complaining, but there are bad ones as well. Bad cells are extremely bad, and the reason is they don't die. And when they don't die, it means it's cancer. Billions of your cells die and get replaced, but these cancer cells stay where they are. Scientists called cancer cells in a body immortal. These cells are a huge problem in your body. Instead of doing their work and keeping you alive, they only care about themselves and keep themselves alive. and the human body is not strong enough to tell the cancer cells to kill itself and get replaced. An American woman named Henrietta Lacks died at the age of 31 in 1951. Her cause of death was cancer. And like we said before, if you take a cell and put it in a safe environment, it will stay alive, but eventually it will die. But in 1951, scientists took Henrietta's cancer cells and kept it in a safe environment. The reason that she's known is that her cancer cells wouldn't die, so they were immortal. And instead of dying, they would grow more and more each day. And these cancer cells helped out cancer research a lot. Somehow, a part of this lady's body is still alive. From that day, these cells did not die, grew even more, and were used in all types of labs. It is calculated that 20 tons of Henrietta's cancer cells have gone all around the world for cancer research. Henrietta died 70 years ago. Can we say she died, or is part of her still alive? So what's the difference between your cell and someone else's cell? How can we find out that this cell belongs to you? Before, they thought that every cell in your body has one DNA. But that was not the case, because DNA goes through change, and diet and environment has a lot to do with it. If you change your diet, the DNA inside your cell could change. And what is this DNA anyways? 8% of the human genome is viruses. Viruses that live in our body. These viruses entered our ancestors' body long time ago and stayed there. And generation after generation, they pretty much became a part of our body. For example, mitochondria. This is the power plant of your cell, but a long time ago, it was a bacteria. It entered our ancestors' body and became part of the cell, and it works as the power plant of each cell. It's extremely complicated. How did these cells get better and better to make a human body, and the same human finds the cells and can also draw the human genome? We said this before, this cell doesn't have a mind, but these cells made of the brain that can think to the end of the galaxy and can also find the cell. Stand in front of the mirror and look at yourself. You see a body that is made up of trillions of cells. Then turn around and look at the sky. You see a universe that is made up of trillions of stars. And the solar system in this universe is like a cell in our body. It's a weird world, isn't it? Please leave a comment.